When I was a child, I was a victim of systematic and lengthy and brutality. I mean, stabbing, beating, being electrocuted, stuff like that. It was my mom. My name is Darrell Hammond. I'm a former SNL cast member, author of a new book, God If You're Not Up There. My dad never really abused me. He was a war vet that was haunted by dreams of Nazis and dismembered corpses and things that war vets go through. So it was frightening to be around that, but he never really abused me. On the other side, my mom did some things which, you know, have cost me dearly. I think it started manifesting itself when I was 19 years old, you know. I think that's the first time I ever cut myself, and then over the years, you know, it became habitual. I was never in a mental institution for a long time. I was in psych wards, where I would go in and they go, well, is he going to kill himself? What's wrong with him? You know, I was diagnosed with everything from schizophrenia to multiple personality, and bipolar, and all the things that doctors have traditionally, the labels doctors have traditionally placed on people who are only really just trauma patients. With me, I was on as many as 7 medications at one time. I mean, these doctors really didn't know what to do with me. All the shows that I did on SNL, almost all of them, I was on these what I call soul-killing drugs, but they're not really soul-killing. That's not their purpose. The purpose is to stabilize a trauma patient, and that's what they did, enough so that I could go out there. I mean, performing with anthrax in the building is not nearly as difficult as performing in a home where you might get stabbed that night. There was cutting backstage. There was, I was once taken to a psych ward. In fact, the week that I did the Gore debates, I believe I was taken away in a straitjacket. And there's no way that people don't know about that. But SNL is a place where if Lauren judges that you can hit the ball over the wall that night, then you're going to go out and step up to the plate. So I didn't want to let Lauren down, who, you know, I'm close to, but I didn't want to, and I didn't want to make fun of a guy whose body, soul, and voice were changed by combat. This is why I had a hard time playing John McCain and didn't want to play John McCain. You know, when my father was on his deathbed and he wanted me to play him, you know, he was on morphine and all these things, and he didn't realize what I would have to go through to do it. I don't think that he was aware. I think that he, you know, he was a traveling salesman. He sold guns and fishing tackle. He drank all the time, had nightmares nightly about Nazis. He was living in his own world of trauma and confusion over having killed so many people and yet being proud of America and serving his country. He would not have allowed it if he knew it. You know, this all occurred when people weren't around. You know, you don't do things like this to people where they're witnesses. Well, I mean, you can laugh about it with the right people. You can laugh about it in the nut house. You know, you can laugh about it in the psych ward where some guy's standing outside your door going, I think bad things, Mama. I think bad things. And you're like, wow, really? This is how far I've come? I don't feel ashamed for falling down because I got hit by a Mack truck, you know. The fact is I kept trying to get back up, and then I did. When she was on her deathbed with cancer, and she called me over and in her best Southern accent said, you were always my little buddy, weren't you, honey? And I looked at her and I went, oh my God, and didn't say anything, and everyone in the room sort of looked at the floor because a moment of horrible discomfort had sort of blossomed into the room, and that's when she won. On the other hand, you know, I began to realize that my mother had once been an innocent child. Someone had to do something to her to cause her to behave the way she behaved. My mother died about 2.5 years ago, just a few months before my father died, in the same hospice. Even though they told him he had less than 36 hours to live, he wanted me to do SNL because President Obama was on, or Barack Obama was on, who might be the president, and he felt that would be an honor, that I should do that. So the night before I did that, and the next morning I'd take like an early morning flight with my cop friend Eddie. They had taken him off his morphine, and so he wouldn't die. And he turns to my cop friend and he goes, "Eddie, son, I'll see you some more on down the road." And then he goes, "Now give me my morphine. Y'all get out of here." And that was the end. Yeah, that was great.